Hey everybody, yes, it's Bob. I know how exciting that can be. I say that sometimes and people just hang up. Well, it's time for, Bob Saget's here for you. My name's in a sentence that I say myself. It's like Rumpelstiltskin every time I hear my name. And Beetlejuice and Candyman. I was going to say Candyland, which was a game I never really played. I tried to play Risk, which was about taking over the world, but we have enough problems with that going on right now. So why even bring that up? But that's why I want to reach out to people, because there's people that are going through a bunch of stuff that we're all going through. And I want to see how people are doing. And that's why I'm here. And there's a couple things I need to tell you. I've got pants on. I'm doing this like a real man. I don't look like Quentin Tarantino in Pulp Fiction, one of the greatest movies. But as you recall, he looked a bit, disheveled, like a lot of us look right now. You're probably listening to this with no pants on, and that's just the grandmas. So what we want you to do is rate this and review it, and then subscribe to it. That's what we want. And there'll be a YouTube page, which is set up, which is under my name, which is, the spelling. And I don't know what else to tell you. I hope you're doing good. And let's talk to some people. I'm going to call. Sometimes they don't answer. So that's just how I deal with it. You're nice enough to call the number that is listed right there in the thing that you click to watch this, hear this, see this, watch a still frame of me sitting there while I talk to you. Or just listen on the beautiful podcast engine that you chose to serve from. Boy, that's a sentence that I didn't want to say or create. But this is Jennifer I'm going to call, and that's one of my favorite names because it's one of my kids' names. There you go. And it was also my grandmother's name. Sometimes you name people after people that are gone, and sometimes you don't. Sometimes I feel like a nut. Sometimes I don't. That's a ringing phone that you're listening to, and I'm going to be talking to you. Hey, it's it's Bob Saget here. Is this Chris?
Hey, Bob, how you doing?
I'm good, man. Thanks for calling in to that number and having me give you a call. I thought you were Jennifer. It's so funny. I kept saying I'm going to call Jennifer, and then I realized I was calling you. I'm sorry about that. That I had to put you through that.
You got me on a Thursday. I'm Chris on a Thursday.
Yeah, right. And I didn't want to make you do a gender change just to talk to me. I feel bad about that. How's it going?
How you doing?
I'm okay. I'm doing okay. I'm here and living in the house with my wife, and that's working out. So that's really good.
Right on. I'm in Brooklyn.
Oh, I got a kid in Brooklyn, man, and she's mine. So I'm excited about that. But it is.
Congratulations.
How are you holding up, Chris? It is some time, right? It's crazy, right?
It is something else. I'm doing okay. I'm still working. I work at an indoor farm here, so we're still making food for people and getting it out there. We're donating a lot of it, still selling some of it. So I feel good.
That's wonderful. Right. It's not hydroponic stuff. It's like fruit and vegetables, things like that.
Yeah, we grow it hydroponically, but we got like arugula, basil, mint, chives, stuff like that. So we're helping people eat.
My wife would want to raid that place when we're in New York next time, when everything's cool and we're all back to whatever this new normal is going to be, which, wow, what a change in life, right?
Well, you got my number, so I'll get you a tour next time you're here.
I actually would like I'd like that, actually. It's funny,
yeah,
when you said you're in an indoor farm, I was thinking you got sheep and ducks and goats, and I was thinking like, oh no, you're a Tiger King protege? Did you watch that thing? Did you go through it like all of us did?
I have not. I feel like the only person in America has not yet seen it.
It is a thing. It's like when you drive past an accident on the highway, it's good not to look and keep your eyes on the road. But this thing, you feel so bad for the animals. And then when you find out that so many more, are in captivity than in their natural settings on this earth, you go, what the hell are we doing? And this guy and it just became this. You should watch it. Do you live with somebody? Are you alone? What's going on? How are you living in your habitat?
I have a roommate.
That's good. I had some water. Sorry, I had to have some because you got to keep your throat moist during this time, is what they tell you.
Yeah, you're doing this for a couple hours, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm going to be doing it for a while because I love talking to people. How's the roommate? How's that? How you two getting along?
You know, um, he is always on tour with his job, so I have this kind of sweet deal where I usually have a two-bedroom apartment to myself, and for the foreseeable future, I'm going to have to readjust to cohabitating with another human. So I'm getting the hang of it now, but it's been interesting.
Yeah, this is a test on all of it, isn't it? It's just absolutely
It,
crazy.
I don't, I hate why we're having to do this, but living in New York, I work, I have a band, all this stuff. I'm usually home and awake for about 2 hours a week, so I'm not hating this time at home to, like I learned how to dust stuff. Um,
Yeah,
I'm
right.
not, I'm not, yeah,
That's my joke's been.
um,
I've become Danny Tanner for real. I mean,
yeah.
I
Are you
feel.
vacuuming the vacuum cleaner?
Oh my God, yeah, I did that on a TikTok. I did that. That's
I use that. I
it's
use that all the time.
it's so funny that I played a character who is the way most people are living. I mean, he didn't wear a face mask, but he might as well have. It didn't matter. But
Yeah, I'll
you're
never.
how about spatial distance? Both of you are healthy. Things are okay between you and your roommate.
Yeah, we're feeling good. Since I'm still going to work, I have the protocol down. So I've had a mask for a couple of weeks. Good about sanitizing. I've actually, to kind of stay in the rhythm on days I'm not working, I've been doing just on my personal bike. I've been doing home deliveries to people that can't get out. I can bring groceries, picking up prescriptions, things like that for either my friends or people that they know that need some help. So just been trading phone numbers, picking stuff up, dropping things on people's stoops, that sort of thing. So I'm staying healthy and I'm also staying out there
But you're a good
trying to
person,
help.
Chris. You really are, and you're being safe because if you're walking on the streets of Brooklyn, I know for a fact that people are still bumping into each other. They're not. They're not.
Oh yeah.
Something's really weird. They're not being considerate and following the rules, which are really what will help us get well.
And
It's
a bunch of other cities have, opened up streets and, kind of curtailed car traffic where, so there's just more physical space for people to get through. Our, uh, our mayor has not been creative enough to figure out a way to do that. So, we're still just dealing with sidewalk space. I wish we had more room to walk around because, they say getting out is important as long as you do it safely.
right. It's incredibly painful when people aren't. But you guys have had your mayor and your governor have been heroes throughout this thing, but people aren't. Is that how most people are looking at it right now?
I think as far as they go, I think the national perspective on our mayor and our governor, it paints kind of a rosier picture than someone that's here all the time.
Right, because you're
Um,
going. Why is this not fixed? Why did it take so
yeah,
long?
and
Right.
I think your governor has done an incredible job. I think he was extremely proactive. Um, really kind of took everything seriously, kind of before we did here, and it's starting to pan out in the numbers up in the Bay Area, and you know, um,
Yeah,
I think he's done a really incredible job.
Gavin Newsom didn't wait, and he was the first person to ask for the ship. And you guys have the mercy, and oh no, you have the comfort, right? And we have.
Comfort, right? Yeah.
It all sounds like beds you would buy in one of those sit and sleeps. You know, I'll take the mercy. Is that made of that indelible foam? You ever been on one of those
Right.
clay beds? Makes you want to kill yourself. People, it's like
It doesn't come with a service member, though, does it? I don't want him watching me sleep.
No, it does not. It does not. It's basically those things are like sleeping on Gumby. It just makes no sense. So let me ask you. You called up. You were kind enough to call, and you left your name. And you have a question or something you wanted to talk about?
I was going to ask you. You've been touring for a long time. I was going to ask you, what are your favorite kind of under the radar cities to hang out in America? Everybody knows New York, LA,
Right.
Chicago. Those are like the comedy towns. What are some of the towns that you really like and have an attachment to that you don't think kind of get their due?
It's interesting. There's people everywhere, and I'll play like a casino somewhere in the middle of the Dakotas or Iowa, and I find the most appreciative audience ever. Or I'll be in Calgary. I had to cancel all these dates, and reschedule
Right.
them all actually. But I'll be back when we're allowed. Even if I find out with a test that I had it already, I still can't be there and put over 1,000 people in a room and let them, be endangered. So,
Of course not. Yeah.
right. So when I get back out there, I've got a bunch of places booked. I had to go back and do my Canada dates in November is the hope. And I love many, I always say Canada is my favorite city, but yeah, but it's really,
I like that.
it's wonderful. I mean, Vancouver, Toronto, Calgary, sounds like I'm about to sing Kokomo, but, that's Aruba in Jamaica. I've never played
That's
there.
that's the other guy.
Yeah, that's it. My friend John. He.
Yeah. Tell him I say hello.
Oh, I will. I will. He's on the
He's,
other.
he's a bit of a patron.
I keep him. Oh, he is. He gets stuff from you guys.
He's a bit of a patron saint in my family. I was going to say.
Oh, okay. I thought he was
He
going.
was like our first Greek celebrity we knew.
Yeah. Are you guys? Are you Greek?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I'm gonna send you a case of yogurt.
I could use that. I've been drinking too much beer.
Who hasn't? Alcohol has gone way up. This is a hard time. It's a hard time for people that don't drink and can't drink. They've got to, get in meetings on Zoom and get into big chat rooms and stay strong. This is a really tough time.
I've been checking in a lot of those friends too. Just trying to have conversations with them, kind of help them fill the time.
Me too, but I've been talking to more of my drinking friends, and I'm setting up. You set up a dinner with a friend. I got Joe McHale's a friend, so we're gonna have like steaks and have a scotch, and not a lot. Then and just kind of just talk about all this craziness and is there a greater power and how do we stop all this and get people back to something, get people's hearts out and stop all this craziness that was happening right before we went into this. That is the key.
Can we learn from it? Can we make things better because of this? Because that's what makes it worthwhile.
I believe we can. I believe we can. Not everyone can, because some people are always going to believe that this didn't even happen.
Mm-hmm.
You find out about, a governor didn't know about it till 2 days ago. I mean,
unbelievable.
It's like, okay, sure. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
It's impossible. So I will tell you this. Your question was, what places do I love? I started in Philadelphia. So I really loved doing stand up there because I was 17 when I started doing it. And then
weirdest town in America.
Oh, the worst?
Weirdest.
Oh, I
have a lot of friends from there.
It's a little strange, but it's
so unique.
It is wonderful also because the history's there, and you look at it and it's like, wow, this is the room the Declaration of Independence was signed, and then let's go get a cheesesteak is the next thing on your mind.
I would say about Philadelphia, a good way to describe Philadelphia, I think, is people are still obsessed with their local evening news anchors in Philadelphia. They're still like the biggest celebrities of there. You could be in a restaurant and Brad Pitt could walk in, but then the weather guy from Channel 5 could walk in and people would be like, holy shit, it's the weather guy from Channel 5.
I think Brad Pitt though was maybe if I walked in they go for the weather guy. I think the weather guy is going to outrank me. Maybe it depends on the weather too. I mean, if the weather's really nice, they're going to ignore him. They're not going to go. It's only if it's like a blizzard or a heat spell no one can live through that he is like the doctor you go to at a restaurant and you go, I got a cramp or I got a hemorrhoid. Can you help me? And he goes, I'm eating an egg roll. Can you lay off right now? But Philly is interesting, and it's also it is the town of brotherly love, right? Which is there's a lot of jokes I could have done back in the 70s, but you can't do them now. But I have a lot of friends there, a lot of them. And I always go back and play there. I was just in Atlantic City playing at the Hard Rock and had all my friends that I did comedy with at U of P. And so there's things that went to school at Temple. So, I mean, I'm really, I was born in Philly, but I moved to Virginia. But as far as stand-up goes, Boston's a great town. when I was in my early 20s, I was playing the cities, and you find out where they are, of course. New York City has amazing comedy audiences. You could walk, they need it. You guys need it. I did my last special at the Williamsburg Hall of Music right near you.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Stone's throw from my house.
Yeah, that it was called 0 to 60, and I loved that audience so much and the reason I did it there was I played there once before, and I just thought this is the best place, and these are the coolest people. Everybody looked like they were doing a LensCrafter commercial. They all had they had their little yuppie glasses. They looked like the Verizon guy, but with a higher hipness quotient. And then I love Portland. Portland,
Yeah.
Portland, Maine, and Portland, Oregon, and
I love them both too.
yeah, Portland, Oregon is just cool as hell. And I go there and I play a club called Helium, and there's a theater there. I played Paramount and audiences in Seattle. Most of the places that are hit really hard by this virus are my favorite places. I think I try to go where illness is to entertain people that are hurting. That's actually this would be the only way to do this. Like during wartime, people go to entertain the servicemen, like Bob Hope did, my friend Jeff Ross does, Jay Leno. They go, come on, we're going on a jet, we're going to Iraq. And I go, dude, I got 3 kids. They're in the middle of a war right now, bad, right? And they're like, come on, let's do it anyway. And they don't have kids, so that's kind of my thing. Not that I don't want to entertain the people, but to do it now, it's me in a hazmat suit and a microphone, but I'm doing comedy, doing this show is actually a good way to reach out to people that are hurting and want to laugh. I did, there are parts of Florida I love certain parts, and other parts are not.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I mean, there are good places to play. I just had fun in Miami. Places that
I like St. Pete.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I like St. Petersburg. That's a nice town.
I've never been to, maybe I have been to St. Petersburg. I've been pretty much everywhere. I love Austin. I'm planning to go back there. That got rescheduled till the 1st of the new year. And I love, I love a lot of places, but I mean, anytime I go play the Wilbur in Boston, I can't wait to get on stage, Yeah. And in New York, I have an affinity for so many different places, and San Francisco, it's just, and I have such a diverse audience. They wish 9-year-olds could come in so they could hear Danny Tanner jokes, but then people find out, you got to be 17. It should be 17 for my shows because I'm not. Your
cover's been blown on that for a little while.
Yeah, I know, right? And the key word is blown. But
blown.
Well, I can't thank you enough. It was really nice to talk to you, Chris.
Yeah. Hey, man, that was really wonderful. I can't wait to listen to the show.
Yeah, it's good. I'm excited about it. People are digging it, and that's all. That's all you got to do is just. And then when I'm in New York, if you want, you can meet me backstage at some place. Just say, it's Chris from Bob Saget's Here For You. And I'll
go. Sounds amazing.
I'll go. Okay.
Keep my number. I'll give you a farm tour next time you're here.
I would definitely go for our hydroponic tomato. I'd go crazy. Zucchini. Yeah, I don't know. I judge a vegetable by its shape. I'm just that way. I like tomatoes. I like things like grapefruit. No, I don't really like grapefruit. Actually, I'm wrong. All I eat is phallic shaped vegetables. What if you go into a store? Is that saying anything? If all you buy is like cucumbers, carrots, celery,
they should organize this stuff that way.
I think they should. And then there's the innie vegetables. The cauliflower, the artichoke, and then you put them all together and you create life.
Yeah,
that's how the Garden of Eden began. I'm having trouble with the Garden of Eden. Say again. I'm sorry. I'm glad you cut me off, and I'm glad I shut up. Please repeat that question.
Well, I was just saying, in the context of this conversation, the artichoke is fraught with peril.
Oh, it really is, isn't it?
A lot of sharp points on that.
It is dangerous. You go to eat that, and if it's not cooked soft enough, you can cut your lip right open on that damn thing.
Yeah.
I think
how many things do you eat that have a heart?
Yeah, I love eating people's hearts. I'll eat I'm a cannibal now since this whole pandemic. I get a blood test on them, make sure they're okay, and then I just eat them.
All right.
All right. Way to go. It is called an artichoke. So it's called that. I wouldn't be surprised because somebody choked on one of the leaves that had that pointy thing on it.
Yeah, man, like they evolved to be like that so that animals wouldn't eat them. They must have been so pissed when
Maybe
figured it out.
Maybe it's like an armadillo was built so you wouldn't try to mount it, I have no idea how they have sex. All I know is they're good roadkill. Oh, poor armadillos. Anyway, you get yourself on that Tiger King. You watch that, and you stay safe, and have your roommate. You'll figure it out. You'll probably end up being
I'll figure it out, brother.
Really close through it, or just go, hey, that was a good time we spent. No need to see you again. In a year. It's almost like it is like a marriage. I mean, you're really, and families are going at it. I mean, it's crazy.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there should be a real Family Feud. They should, Steve Harvey should just have that where people are just smacking the crap out of each other. But
stand outside people's houses and have them yell the answers at the window.
But doing this and calling people, I'm finding that a lot of people are really getting along, and it's like surprising. Like they're really having communication. I've called like the families, and the father wants to have like a morality talk with his daughter, like a Full House episode. And it's like, oh, let me get the synthesizer so I can put the music on it. But well, it's a pleasure talking to you, man. You take care of yourself, and I have a feeling I'll see you in the future.
Bob.
So
you take care of yourself. I'll see you when you're in New York, my dude.
Definitely, man. Take care, Chris.
All right, do well.
Thank you. Hey, we're back. And right, Bob Saget's here for you. I don't know why I have to say the name of the show all the time. You know what you're listening to. Those were good breaks. And whoever the announcer was, he's hot. This would be Wendy. I don't know these area codes. I just don't know. I know cities, but I don't know the area codes offhand. I hope she answers. I really do.
Hello.
Hi, can you hear me? It's Bob Saget.
Hello. Hi.
How are you doing? Where are you right now?
I'm in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Oh my! And how are you holding up? Are you alone on your own? Are you keeping yourself safe?
Yeah, I live with my boyfriend here, and been having just a lot of anxiety on whether or not to get out there and work or not, because it's kind of up to me whether I do or not. But when I do, I stay safe, and when I don't, I'm going stir crazy. So
yeah, I hear you. It's been so hard for so many.
I've been keeping up with your videos and such.
Oh,
I've been keeping up with all your videos.
Oh, thank you.
On Facebook.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you. But I like talking to people and see what's going on and see how they're doing. So, can you say what kind of work you do?
Yeah, I do DoorDash and Postmates. It's food delivery.
Absolutely.
And being out there, I'm noticing a lot of people that are not being as aware as I am. I travel with bleach water, homemade hand sanitizer. I wear gloves. I wear a mask to ensure safety of, the people I'm delivering to. And I text them on my phone and let them know that I'm just around the corner and that I'm going to leave their food, on the front steps. And that seems to be working. It keeps my anxiety down. I feel like it's keeping everybody safe. But there's a lot of people that's not doing that. And Oklahoma is one of the few states left that's not been issued the stay-at-home order. So that's something to, be aware of. And I still don't know why they haven't done it. I noticed on the news last night that Oklahoma was one of a few states left that don't have that order in place.
Well,
so our numbers are still climbing.
Right. Well, that could change. Things are changing on a dime these days. And maybe by the time this is even being heard by everybody, it has been on lockdown. We don't know. I just want people to be safe. I just don't want, I don't want people to lose their lives.
Yeah, I mean, I never thought in a million years I would live through, to see something like this. I've got 2 kids and a grandchild in Tennessee, and that's 1,000 miles away. And then I've got another one that lives with my grandmother, and she's 86 years old.
Oh my!
And he's at Ground Zero in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, working for St. Francis Hospital. and helping with making sure there's sanitizer stations. He's got a very dangerous, essential job.
Oh
And
my.
it's hard to worry about him and be proud of him at the same time because he is out there making a difference.
Well,
But,
would
I
you,
worry about his health
when you
and his
talk to him,
well-being.
would you send him, if it means anything, my regards and my deep, deep thanks and my wishes that he stays healthy because he's our hero. He is one of our heroes.
Yes.
And so are you, by the way, because I'll tell you honestly, I use DoorDash. I've used Postmates and stuff. I tend to go to DoorDash, and unless Postmates is a sponsor, in which case, I'm viable. But but DoorDash,
Yeah.
I've been enjoying how they've been structuring their work, and they'll bring something, and they
Yes.
have rubber gloves, and they're wearing a mask, and then I had a gentleman the other day who I there's a gate in my house and I opened it and then let him come in. I said, just leave it there. And I was standing outside and then he just walked right over to me like 2 feet away. And I hate doing that because I'm not a rude person, but I said, I'm sorry, you've got to back up. We've got like a 6 foot, 9 foot rule right now. If you could just set it down. And I think people are just scared because they also have auto behavior. They go into how we've been living. They go into, we all just go, well, wait a minute. Why can't I just go up? Like your instincts are to hug certain people if you're friends with them or if you're a weirdo and you want to hug people anyway, there is.
Oh, I'm a hugger. I'm a big hugger. And
So
it's
am
hard
I. I mean, look
to
at my career.
see my son, and my grandmother, and I'm like, stay back. I've been doing food delivery. I want to be safe. I love you. I wish I could wrap my arms around you. And that's one of the hardest things that I've noticed myself is, when I do get to see somebody, I can't hug them like I would always do. That's something that's really hard.
No, it is. And love right now does mean spraying somebody with hand sanitizer. That's how you love them. You give them some of your hand sanitizer or one of the wipes.
Exactly.
If you've got them. I mean, I've had so much trouble. I am now using toilet paper that is like cash register tape. I have never, I don't know.
Hey,
Yeah,
you do what you got to do. We do learn how to be efficient in these trying times.
we have to be. But we didn't think in a billion years this would happen. It's like, Contagion. It's like everybody's been talking about the same thing. It's like the movie Outbreak. In that movie, it was so gross. They had a guy cough in a movie theater and they followed, the director was pretty intense. They followed a piece of phlegm as it went in the air into someone else's mouth. And I'm like, that is the grossest scene, but that is the most descriptive.
Oh,
But it is exactly how this carries. It is exactly how a virus like this. And now
Oh, yeah.
but the key to me is that we can stay together and we can still take care of ourselves and we mourn over the people that we're losing. And we all know somebody directly. Some people I know have it. I have a friend that's recovering from it right now, a good friend. And then I'm really being safe, as you can hear from my voice. But I talk nonstop. You got to drink water, they say, or if you have it, it caramelizes in your lungs. So I'm not afraid to drink water on the air. But you're being fully, you're doing your precautions, and then other times you're off, and so you're just home and going a little bit crazy.
That's a little bit. One thing I've been trying to do, I really admire what you're out there doing, talking to people. And I just felt, impelled the other day. I kept noticing on Facebook, everybody complaining, oh my gosh, I'm going nuts. I'm going to choke my kid. Da, 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 da. I'm so bored. I'm like, you know what? This needs to stop. I said, and I even put there first and foremost, I don't want to offend anybody. If you have a problem with this post and what I'm getting ready to say, then you can unfriend me. Or if you have anything negative to say, I'm going to unfriend you.
Right.
But this needs to be said. If I hear one more person complain about being stuck at home with their safe family, I'm going to lose it, because think of all the people who have already died or watching somebody suffer that they love, and think about how they would 10 times over trade places with you right now.
You're a billion
So be
percent.
grateful for that. Every time you're getting ready to pull your hair out, you remember those people who have already died are fighting this illness right now, what they wouldn't give to trade places with you.
You're a billion percent right. And people are used to their comforts. And And right now in New York City, that's the name of the ship that's going to save people that don't have the coronavirus. They don't even realize that that's where we're at, that this is our country. And
Exactly.
we've been going through the hardest pandemic because other countries have been ahead of us on it and lost so many people. And you're absolutely right. I'm fortunate to be able to talk to you right now. I'm fortunate and it's vice versa. And now, and on the phone number that we leave at the top of this thing, do you have or I leave on my Instagram or my Twitter, which is how you reached out. Did you have a question or a subject you wanted to discuss, or is that kind of in a nutshell what you wanted to discuss?
No, I just wanted to voice my opinion, say that what I think you're doing is great. You're keeping yourself busy, which helps keep your mind clear, which makes you available to be of help to anybody. And I think that's what all of us need to remember right now, is not to let ourselves get so scared and overwhelmed that we're, having so many anxiety problems, like I will have, one day is better than the other. But, I've been following you a lot, and I agree. I think we need to stay busy in our homes, out walking, talk to people, share with them, what we can, try to, have a domino effect with it. Just like with my post, I noticed a lot of people have shared what I had to say. And I think that's really important. Right now, we need to be grateful that we have the option to be at home with our loved ones and safe whenever there's so many others that don't have that, that luxury.
I got to tell you, this is the sweetest phone call that I couldn't agree with more. And I just thank you for taking the call. And I wish you just a lot of health and safety. And thank you for doing what you're doing. I mean, you're doing something in the right way. You're being considerate. You're thinking about other people. And I guess the thing we try to do is find things that take our mind off it, not be uninformed, because you want to know what's going on. You want to know if the laws change. You want to know how dangerous it is. You want to know, we're all going to want to know when it starts to get safe, or when a new test comes out that, oh my God, they're able to do this in 5 minutes. They can tell me if I've had it, or they could tell me if I have it in 5 minutes. And we just were not prepared. And I don't know, everybody wants to put blame, but the fact is we weren't prepared. And
no, we were not.
No. And so now maybe we'll be prepared because of this for something that could be much worse one day. Hopefully not in our kids' lifetime. That's what I'm hoping. That I have 3 daughters, and I need them happy and healthy. And it's a tough world they're growing up in. It's a really tough world. And
yes, it is. And we definitely would do anything we could to keep them from having to go through that.
It's really true that I would take the pain. And my parents would always say, I would take the pain if I could for you, Bob, and that you're going through. I had my appendix out. My parents are like, and I go, no, you wouldn't, but yes, they would. And with my 3 daughters, I would literally, whatever is hurting them, I would totally take the pain. It's like, just give it to me, get it away from them. I'll be able to sleep better at night, because I'll probably be on morphine by that time. But but I don't know. I make bad taste jokes sometimes, but that's just to let some air out of the pressure cooker.
Well, you have to find ways to laugh.
Yeah, and be entertained by something besides Tiger King on Netflix. I don't know if have you been watching anything? Is there anything you're binging on?
We're on episode 4. It's on episode 4, and it's really, it's one of those things like you can't quit watching it, but while you're watching it, you're like, what the hell am I watching? Pardon my French.
No.
And knowing that it happened, where I live, here in Oklahoma,
yep,
a few hours away, it's crazy.
It is the unthinkable, and it's going to unfold. The thing is not over yet. There's people around. People are talking about Carol Baskin every day. He's in jail. He's suing people for hundreds of millions. It's a crazy circus, and I'm just sad that so many animals, and I've been saying this a lot, and I think a lot of us feel that way, that there's more animals in captivity than there are running free where they're supposed to be in the world.
That's what I said. I said those animals should be released into their natural environment, not caged up.
Oh, it's the worst thing in the world. It's well, there's worse things. Sorry, we can't say that anymore. We all have our patron saint causes and things that hurt us, and there's so much injustice. But I can't help it. I know you feel this way. I can tell without even knowing you, just from what we've talked about, that we're going to get through this. and there'll always be something. There'll always be something that affects people, whether it be disease or things or things that happen in your life that you can't believe happened to yourself or to someone loved one or a friend. But you get through it. You just have to get through it. You have to be strong. And my friend Rodney Dangerfield just said, "Go like a tank, just like a tank. You just keep going," which is hard when you're
Yeah, life's
emotionally.
messy. Clean it up.
Yeah, I was Danny Tanner. All I did was clean up, but but the whole key is to just have a good positive attitude. And what you put out on Facebook is the kind of message that I'm happy. I'm happy you did that. So thank you so much for calling.
Oh, and thank you for calling me. Where can I hear this podcast that you're doing now?
It's going to be everywhere. It's everywhere. You will find it everywhere.
Okay.
It's going to be on all the places podcasts are there. You can look it up right now, and it will be there. But thank you so much, and I wish you a lot of health, and be safe out there. And thanks for your contribution. It really is. It makes me proud to be a human being that other people are out there doing the right thing and feeling hopeful through this weird time.
Yes, and you do the same as well. And it was absolutely wonderful talking to you.
You too, Wendy. Thank you so much.
All right.
Be
Talk
well.
to you soon. Thank you.
Definitely. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye. You know, it's weird. We don't know how to say goodbye to people sometimes. And she said, "Talk to you soon." And I'm like, okay. And I don't think I'll be calling Wendy every day, but she's so sweet. That was so, so direct. And she drives for DoorDash, and she's responsible about it. And she lives in Tulsa. And wow, you find out so much about somebody. It's a whole life story. And I get to do this by calling people on here and reaching out. Which is why this is called Bob Saget's Here For You. I'm just happy I talked to her. It should have been Wendy Makes Me Feel Good. Wait a minute. That's not a good title. I can't call it that. Well, I want to thank you all. This has been a really interesting time and episode for me. I really enjoyed it. It's really nice to talk to people. I can't believe I talked to somebody I know or knew. And I got to do a little business, which is to tell you, you've got to do a couple things for me, is rate it, review it, and subscribe. And when you review it, go positive. Take the needle past 6 or 7. Maybe go all the way to 9.1. It won't be like, El Presidente of Barstool's pizza review. Go the other direction. He tends to hit you with a 3.1. But I want to thank all of you and for listening. I hope it made you feel, I don't know, hope it took your mind off of stuff or got you engaged into thinking about something positive. And I'm sending you my best. And I'll talk to you soon on the next episode of Bob Saget's Here For You.